Hey, I'm just Bodo, and you can just call me Bodo. And today we're going to start with my Get Good at PvP guide. Now, this might be a 2 or 3 part series, but pretty much what this guide is to help solve the biggest issues for most players in Ashes of Creation. Now, for part one, we're starting with settings. Part two would be like class breakdowns and how to use each class in PvP. Part three, I don't know yet. But yes, we're going to start with the most important things I think that kind of screws everybody over, which is your settings and your keybinds, because they're very important and they dramatically change how you play the game. And primarily, we're talking about target swapping, tracking players, how everything kind of pops up on your screen, the consistency of you being able to target people that your shot caller is targeting with like target of a target or target of defensive target, setting up things like dual targets so you can have your an offensive target from your party, sorry, a defensive target from your party and an offensive target that you're trying to CC or attack, stuff like that. So before we get into this, the one thing I kind of want to careful, flashbang, my gosh. The one thing I just want to let everybody know is that I use certain peripherals to help with my keybinds, help with how fluid it is for me to play the game. And there's very cheap options for you to do that. You can use stuff like foot pedals for like maybe your push to talk, maybe cycling targets, stuff like that. Using an MMO mouse, I particularly prefer the ones that don't have like 20 different buttons for my thumb. Something more simple with like 9 buttons for me to press. It's a little more tactile. And I use a gamepad that frees me from using WSAD on my keyboard, and I can use a little dongle, as you can see here, which is more of a D-pad with like a dongle attachment on top of it for my WSAD, and then I can press my abilities with freedom. Stuff like that. These are little tips and tricks for you to get better at the game. Or if you want to go out, you can try out those products yourself. I'm not sponsored. I don't get any money from it. Now let's start with like probably the most important aspect of this video. We're going to talk about target swapping and target settings. I think the most important thing we're going to talk about is probably target of defensive target. I do have a little short clip that kind of shows how it's kind of used and how it looks. But essentially, let's start at the very beginning. Cycle target. There's some people that don't use cycle target because they use like just targets nearest enemy, or they'll use target of target or target of defensive target. Cycle target is very important. Sometimes you'll be in a big fight and there'll be a big pile, and just trying to click on either the one mark target in the middle of a lot of nameplates just doesn't work. So you do have to cycle targets and just kind of like play the lottery of like, oh, am I going to hit the book or am I going to hit the sun? That's what cycle targets is really used for, and it's very helpful in those types of situations. In smaller fights, not so much. It's a lot easier just to click on the screen or just use whatever your shot caller is targeting or use nearest enemy. But even still, sometimes you want to use cycle target. Very basic, easy way of targeting. Targets nearest enemy will help you insta target someone that's jumping on top of you, so you can land a very quick CC. Or let's say you're running to aid your ally, and you want to quickly target the person's on top of them. You can use your gap closer movement ability and boom, insta target the person, throw a CC on them. Then you have clear target. Clear target is very useful, especially if you're auto attacking. It's kind of the only way to stop yourself from auto attacking a target. You shouldn't really be using auto attacks, but I know it's kind of a split in terms of the community, and there's a lot of people that can't play without it, and there's some people that really should be playing with it, because if you're cycling targets while you're auto attacking, there's a chance you might just hit some slept guy or some incapacitated guy for like 1 damage and it wakes him up. So gotta be very careful. If you are using auto attacks, clear target is just your bread and butter. It's also how you can help get rid of some of the stickiness that targeting can have, especially if we're talking about like target of target or target defensive target. Sometimes they'll just stick onto whoever you're targeting, and if you press clear target, it'll help get rid of it, and then you can retarget something. Sometimes even clear target won't work, and you'll have to cycle to a different target using cycle target or targeting nearest enemy, and then you'll have to clear target. But yeah, very useful. And now let's talk about target of defensive target. I might be playing the video as I'm speaking, or I might play it afterwards, but target of defensive target allows you to target whoever your defensive target, which is probably going to be your shot caller, is targeting over and over, no matter times they switch targets. So let's say they are targeting the battle axe, the big red axe marker. You just have to press your target defensive target. Boom, you'll be targeting the same thing. If he swaps to the book afterwards and he says focus book, you just got to press the same button again and boom, you're already focusing the other book. Keep in mind though, you do have to be within range of the person that you're targeting through your defensive target, and you kind of have to be in range of the offensive target as well. It's more important you're in range of your defensive target than the offensive target, because you can target things from a really far long away. But I believe for you to consistently get the target of defensive target, you do kind of have to be somewhat close or within proximity that that person lights up on like your raid frames. So yeah, so that's target defensive target. If I didn't already play in the video as we are, there's some good shoutouts, some good runner-ups. Target self, very useful, especially if you're playing cleric. All the different targets for all the different marks. Let's say you are the main shot caller and you're going to target thing with the axe, the battle axe. Let's say you're a rogue or a cleric and you're helping your team by marking all the clerics with like the books and the suns and stuff like that. No, whatever you really need. Now we kind of talked about target of target and enable defensive targets. You might be scratching your head a bit. What am I talking about? Well, there is a dual targeting system where you can dual targeting allows you to have one party or raid member targeted and one hostile at the same time. This is also very good to combo with target of target or target of defensive target. Typically, you're going to use target of defensive target. That's this keybind right here. Now this looks, you can see here, I have Kleb, who's in my party. He is my defensive target. You can see I am currently attacking this mage named Tomac. And in this scenario, I can see that Kleb is targeting Sneaky. And let's say for whatever reason we made a call that we need to target Sneaky because he's messing up one of our DPS or something like that. All I have to do is hit the target of defensive target and boom, I'll be targeting the same person. Now, for most people, you're going to want to do this on I'm a cleric, I'm playing a cleric, so I'm going to be targeting a bunch of people. But let's say you're Kleb, you're this DPS player, you're probably going to target whoever your shot caller is. So yeah, that's pretty much the dual targeting system. Pretty simple, very easy. I know a lot of people already know about this, but there are a lot of people who have no clue about this. Enable raid frames. This condenses your party frames into raid frames, which makes it way easier to track allies' health and debuffs. As you can see right here, I can see some debuffs that are popped up on my allies. I can very easily see they're getting chunked, and I can see even people who are dead. Very clutch. Have this enabled, even if you're in a party. If you're using the default party view, God rest your soul. Nameplates, distance, health, and health bars to always. You don't always have to do this. I just like it as a visual representation. Nameplate distances. So this is very important. To change the distance, by default, it's set to 5,000. So player name display distance, what you want is 8,000. And the difference between the two, I kid you not, the default 5,000 is like 40 feet. That's how far you can kind of get the nameplate to pop up. Maxing out to 80, it's like 50, if not 60 feet. You're gaining like a 20 extra feet on top of that. It's very short. I don't know why it's like that. Maybe it's just for alpha it's like that. Maybe in the future it will change. But even with my view distance set to epic, it's still kind of like that. I don't know why. I don't know if that's just me. Let me know in the comments down below. But if you always want the health bars to be up, besides their nameplates. By default, you'll see below 100% is the threshold. Then the health bars will pop up. You can swap that to always, and you can always have the enemy's health bars up and active. And what this kind of looks like, as you can see, my allies, their health bars are always up, and my enemies right now, they're not always up because none of them took damage, and that's pretty much what it looks like. That's the difference. And you can see a lot farther than what we see right here. It's just, keep in mind what I said, like if you had it by default, right where these guys are sitting, if you just went a little bit farther away, this nameplates and everything would be disappearing right now. They can go much farther on that, and I can still see them even if they go that distance. But even then, I wish it was like way farther, but for some weird reason, it just doesn't work that way. Now we're talking about PvP settings for non-PvP and PvP. These are very important settings. If you do not want to fight, check, uncheck in your PvP settings. If you do want to fight, uncheck, check for your PvP settings. And do not use your Alt or Alt F if you have the toggle PvP flag system enabled through your keybinds. Do not use it whatsoever. Most people that are flagging up that way using Alt keys to do damage to flag that way, or to Alt F to have it completely toggled on, are getting red flagged. You are getting corrupted through various means. But just be very careful because it can be stressful. We've had a few people lose gear because of that. Now, there is a video that kind of shows you, gives you the play-by-play as well. His name is Bard Dash. Send him some love. I'll have the video linked in the description below. I just saw, it's a 3-minute video. It's so well done and precise that I just gotta give some love, give him some shout out. Auto attack key bindings and settings. This is very important. This is 50-50. Not everybody wants you to have auto attack, but there are a lot of people that cannot play without it. And like I said, if you're going to use auto attack, you need to use clear target. Have the buttons like right next to each other. So if you need to change your auto attack keybind, this is where you go. This is how you do it. Options, key bindings, action bar. In terms of turning on your auto attack, gameplay combat, enable auto attack enabled. Make sure you select after melee ability and after range ability. That way, if you use offensive ability on a target, it'll automatically just start auto attacking for you. You can also press your auto attack button as well. For me, it's on my mouse, and it will also start auto attacking automatically as well without using abilities. So you have 3 ways of doing it. And just keep in mind, to stop auto attacking, you have to use clear target. Hey guys, before I end the video, I want to very quickly show you guys how to edit your HUD. For press escape, you can go to Hud Editor, and you can see you have all the stuff that's highlighted. You can change stuff around. You can click on this little icon on all the different highlighted areas. You can change their scale. You can make all different sizes. And then let's say you enable your offensive target and your defensive target. How do you get it to pop up? Because we can't see it by default. You go to like a storage clerk and see a defensive target frame. You can click and drag to where you want. If you find like a deer or some sort of NPC, you're going to see offensive targeting frame. You're going to move around however you want that as well. In terms of your party frame, you're going to have to just get a buddy to join a party, and then you can move it like that. Those are kind of the main things. You got your toolbars and stuff like that you can change around and resize. You got your general action bar, which just for the sake of it, I don't ever really need this, so just move it up and away from everything else. But yeah, just put it right there. I wish I could get in that far corner there. But yeah, that is the HUD editor. That's just quick and simple. You can press confirm to save what you have, or you can press cancel and everything will revert back to what it was very quickly. I know most people know about this, but I figure since we're covering settings, I might as well just add this at the very end. Yeah, and that's it for the settings. These are very important settings. I probably would say half of the difficulty that you're facing with tracking targets, swapping targets, tracking players, just the visual representation of all the information, the ease of just targeting from your shot caller and stuff like that. It's crazy how much settings does gate your performance in terms of PvP. So I hope this helped you. I will have a part 2 just breaking down classes and how they should be properly played, or how they should be played in, like, 8v8s, maybe in 10v10s and smaller. Once you get to, like I said, the larger fights, it completely changes out of the gate. But at least you'll know, hey, I'm a tank. I can do this. I can play offensive, but I can also play defensive and help my players. That skills all the way up to the late game. Hey, I'm a ranger. Primarily job, I'm going to root and sit up for the team, and I'm going to make sure I'm vocal about that. And then also my job is to follow up with everybody else when we're focusing the target. Very simple things like that. I know there's a lot of people that may not have that basic knowledge, and there's a lot of people that do have that basic knowledge, but even so, people still mess it up somehow. So part 2 is coming. Don't worry. If you have any alternate opinions or suggestions or ways of doing something, let me know in the comments down below. If you've got questions, let me know in the comments down below. Or if I'm off or not 100% on something, let me know in the comments down below. I'll pin it. If it's super important and valuable, I will pin it. So yeah, thank you. Have a nice day, and maybe I'll see you in part 2.